Hey guys! As you may have noticed, we have done a few food guides recently, recapping my various experiences all across Japan in my almost 6 years working on this channel. So today I'm going to be reacting to a few of my old videos and diving into some of the best places that I visited in Kyoto. It's really easy to get to Kyoto from Tokyo by bullet train, and what's really nice about Kyoto is that it shows a side of Japan where tradition and history is much more well preserved than Tokyo due to its long history and lack of damage during the war. So today I'll be running through some well-known spots that I've visited and some off-the-beaten-path spots that I really think you should check out while you're there. And just so you know, I joined a bunch of food tours in Kyoto, and if any of you are wanting to have the same experience that I did, you can also book them on byFood.com by scanning the QR code on the screen somewhere, and it'll show a bunch of experiences that I did and probably some other really fun ones. So don't forget to check that out. And without further ado, let's dive into my Kyoto recap video, and also it'll be kind of a reaction video. So I haven't seen some of these videos in a while, so we'll see what happens. Let's dive in. So I'm gonna start with my video in Kyoto where I went to a place called Ninenzaka and Sanenzaka. This is an area around Gion in Kyoto, and it leads, basically it's a street. There's some famous stairs in Ninenzaka and in Sanenzaka, and this street leads up to the famous World Heritage Site called Kiyomizu-dera Temple. But what's really nice about the Ninenzaka street is it has so many little shops and cafes, very quaint, little traditional looking buildings. So if you want to experience some history, this is a really beautiful place, but do be careful because the stairs in Ninenzaka and Sanenzaka have some superstition attached to them. And the Ninenzaka, it literally means 2-year hill. And supposedly if you trip on the stairs in Ninenzaka, you will die within 2 years. So stakes are really high. Be careful, don't trip. And Sanenzaka is the same thing. It means 3-year hill. If you trip on those stairs, you will die within 3 years. Slightly better prospects, but still not great. Here we go.
Hi, welcome to Japan by Food.
There we go. There's the yukata.
Today I'm all
selfie.
dressed up in kimono because I am in Kyoto on the Ninenzaka.
Was it actually kimono? I thought it was wearing yukata.
Today. These are really historic
Who
streets
knows?
here in
This
Kyoto
was like, how many years ago was this?
Kiyomizu-dera Temple. And these streets
This is 2022.
are so popular
Okay, this
since
was 3
ancient
years
times, and they're
ago.
lined with souvenir shops,
It
sweet
may
shops,
have
and
been
of course,
a
delicious
kimono.
restaurants. So I can't wait to take a walk. Let's go explore. It's said that on the Ninenzaka, if you stumble
I
and
am
fall
warning
while treading
everybody
on these steps,
to not fall on
you
the
are
steps.
destined to die within 2 years.
It seems that the superstition comes from the fact that they were just trying to warn people to be careful, probably on these like steeper slopes. I think it was a scare tactic to prevent people from getting injured. So a benevolent scare tactic. It's kind of like how we try to scare kids into behaving.
Oh! This has got to be the perfect place to have a traditional Kyoto
This was
meal.
a really cool restaurant called
room.
Okudang, and they serve tofu. I think tofu has an interesting image abroad as being a vegetarian food. In Japan, obviously, it just has a really long history. So this is a local food. In Kyoto especially, it is very famous for tofu. The texture feels a little bit rougher. It doesn't have, I think for people who come from abroad, I don't think you'd find that it has a ton of flavor. You'll find that it doesn't have a ton of flavor.
Next, I'm gonna try it with their famous dashi.
I'm not lying there. I think it depends on the ways that they prepare it. But I think what's different about like traditional Kyoto style tofu is you can really taste the soybean flavor, like the natural flavor, which is something that a lot of people abroad, I think it's an acquired taste and that people don't really appreciate. I've heard a lot of people say like tofu is a blank slate and it's about the sauces that you use. You don't need to hide the flavor of tofu entirely. That's what I think. One thing I do recommend to people to do in Ninenzaka, Sanenzaka area is to dress up in kimono or yukata as I'm doing. You can go to various rental shops in the area. There's a bunch. And I do really recommend this because the atmosphere is so traditional. And you can go to these really historic restaurants and you just fit into the atmosphere completely. And it's not something that you can really do as well in Tokyo. Okay, so now I'm gonna watch the video called The Best Foods You Must Try in Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. This is a very famous, iconic bamboo forest in Kyoto that everybody usually goes to at least once when they visit Kyoto. I'm a little disappointed to say that it has become very touristy. It's been touristy for many years. The best times that you could go to avoid this touristiness is very early in the morning. But I will say, when we filmed this video, it was during the time when the borders were still closed in Japan due to the pandemic. So I had a very special experience to see almost nobody in that forest. Let's look through this video and see what else I did after going to the forest.
Arashiyama has been a really popular destination to visit, not only for foreign travelers, but for Japanese visitors for over 1,000 years. So it's definitely a must-see place.
That's right.
And today
this was
I'm
a food tour.
A Japan by food tour to discover all of the best food spots in the area. It's so beautiful here. And Arashiyama Bamboo Forest is actually considered one of the
Can you believe how there's nobody in this forest?
Of Japan. And a soundscape is apparently a location where you can enjoy the natural sounds of a place.
No kidding that this was a soundscape.
And you can hear the birds. It's a really
really pretty.
Wonderful soundscape.
I wish that it was still like this and it was not overrun with people. What can you do though? Like, everybody wants to go to these special places, but the downside is they become a little bit less special when everybody goes there. It's a weird balance.
Hello,
okay, I'm meeting my tour guide.
Your tour guide for
Yasuna-san.
today. I'm going to show you some shop where you can try Kyoto specialties and you will see photogenic food.
Ooh, I love photogenic food.
Photogenic foods. In Japanese, insta-bae. And you write that as insta-bae, so that should help you remember. So one food that we tried at the beginning of this tour that I thought was really nice, actually, were these adorable odango, which are, dango are like little mochi balls on a skewer. They have like different flavored, like red bean paste, or I think like sweet potato paste, black sesame paste, different flavors on each dango. So you get like different flavors in one skewer, and they were decorated to look really cute. I thought those were nice. Cute and tasty, like fusion of modern and traditional.
It's a really nice blend of
cute
red
dango
bean paste flavor with chestnut, and it's got a nice like fall autumn feel to it.
Oh, there was a yuzu one. Oh,
dango.
yum.
This is my first time trying yuzu flavor.
Yeah, that was really good. There will always be different seasonal ones, so look for that in this area.
Here
is another place we went to.
Yojiya.
Yeah, which is famous.
Yojiya Cafe.
So now we are going to the cafe.
They have a cafe?
So Yojiya is very notable name because basically they were known for making abura torigami, which means oil blotting paper. So this is the old school way that people would blot their shiny, oily skin. The cafe.
Okay, let's go check it out.
So I visited the cafe. And we tried this wonderful parfait.
So this cafe has very fancy looking.
Very fancy looking parfait.
Oh, it looks
she
really
says.
fancy. Wow.
And on the top of it, they have the logo of the Yojiya Cafe. It's this beautiful, traditional looking, probably a Japanese geisha, I would imagine, or just a traditional image of a Japanese woman. And I really enjoyed this parfait.
Right now are autumn leaves.
They had a couple of different seasonal ones.
Autumn it tastes. And the cream
And there were
on top
just
is
so many
nice.
layers in the
And then I love
parfait.
cocoa powder on
I
top.
feel like parfaits are always
The
good
ice
because there's a
cream
little
tastes a
something
little bit
that everybody can
gently
enjoy in
caramelly
each
with a
layer.
little bit of Mont Blanc
So that was nice.
chestnut.
That was a nice, and I think you can also do lunch there. Yeah, this was really nice. She took me to some really cool places. And I think what was nice about doing a tour, when you join a tour, then you do kind of guarantee that there is someone who's local who can show you the spots that are worth trying, whether it be a dish that is kind of unique or traditional to the area, or just a really like modern and interesting food that you might want to try. Okay, now it's time to dive into our Uji video. where we were focusing on green tea and matcha foods, because as some of you may know, Uji is really the famous city in Japan for matcha green tea. So that's where a lot of the most famous green teas are sourced from. Not the only place, of course, but Uji is definitely one of the major cities. So it does draw visitors who love matcha. So in this video, I went to Uji for the first time, and then I tried a bunch of foods that use matcha in them. So let's see what I ate. This was a few years ago as well, 3 years ago. So yeah, I definitely don't remember everything. So let's see what I did. Here we go.
Hi, welcome to Japan by Food. I'm your host, Shizuka Anderson.
Yes.
Today I am in the birthplace
The hair was
of
very
matcha,
different here.
Uji, Kyoto. Uji is beloved across Japan for their amazing green tea and matcha.
Hair
so today we're going to be visiting some of the oldest tea shops in the world and also exploring what kind of modern twist to the classic cup of green tea we can find today.
This is a really historic city, but I will mention that it is a bit out of the way. If you're visiting Kyoto, it takes about 30 minutes by train, give or take, to get to Uji. So it does take a bit of commitment to go there.
Today we'll see the new face of matcha in the modern era. Let's go see what they've got.
Oh, I forgot it had a little
this
garden
shop offers
view.
a wide variety of matcha desserts, but it also has matcha meal options, which I think is really unusual and unique. It's a little hard to decide, but I think what really stands out to me is their matcha curry udon. So let's give it a try with this beautiful little set that comes with a matcha parfait. This looks and smells
it's coming back
amazing.
to me.
So this
the taste is coming back to me too while looking at these images.
The curry soup has been infused with matcha.
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna pause it there. So this green colored udon, curry udon, image-wise, very impactful. I think I noticed that there's some grilled mochi in there, I think, which I'd forgotten about, but I think that's a really cool touch. Okay, start with the soup. Let's see what I say. I'm gonna say the exact same thing, probably.
Ooh, that is an unexpected flavor. It tastes like curry. So it tastes like almost a classic curry udon soup, but with a little added hint of matcha leafy bitterness. It's really interesting. Okay, now let's try the noodles.
I knew I would say that.
Good. Here we go.
I had a little extra information, but a little bit curry, but a little bit of matcha bitterness. This last part, I think, is the most memorable part of my trip. This is when I visited a historic tea house called Tsuen Tea. And this shop is said to be the oldest tea house in Japan. And apparently it is also one of the world's oldest companies. On their Wikipedia page, it says that they are the 13th oldest company in Japan. And it's the 30th oldest company in the world. That information alone is a reason to visit. The tea house, Tsuen Tea House, was founded in the year 1160 in Uji City. And the location is where it is today. Let's see how I enjoyed
I have my
the traditional
and my matcha, and I'm so
sweets and
excited
matcha that I had here.
Because the history here is unbelievable.
Tasting history?
So it really is going to be like tasting history.
Okay, the bowl of
I think
matcha.
I have to start with my cup of matcha tea. That smells so nice.
The matcha bowl is so beautiful
it
too.
smells like you're standing inside.
It just
of
looks
a
so
tea
traditional.
field. It just smells wonderful. Let's give it a taste.
I should probably be holding it better. I've learned since then. You should have one hand on the bottom, right hand on the side, and drink it like this.
I think the best way to describe it
I
is
was young,
glossy.
I was green.
It still has that hint of bitterness that just comes
Pun
with
intended.
matcha, but it is so smooth and little hints of sweetness from nature. There's no sugar added. There should never be sugar in matcha. This is the way to enjoy it.
I would agree with this statement that traditionally, there is no sugar in matcha. And I still believe that the best way to enjoy matcha is without sugar. I know that matcha lattes are all the rage in many countries right now, and I will not deny that they're good. They taste good, but I do think the real matcha is still the one that's not sweet. And I have an interesting fun fact, like a behind the scenes fun fact about this. I went to a Japanese restaurant in Vancouver who a family friend was running. And then one of the ladies who worked at that Japanese restaurant she mentioned to me that her family had a tea shop in Uji, Kyoto, and that I should go there someday. And I completely forgot to do that. We connected, I added her on Instagram, I went here, we filmed here, the video went up, and then she replied to me and said, oh, you went to our family's tea house. What? Like this is your family's, this historic tea house is your family's tea house. And then she was like, yeah, you were supposed to interview my brother, who's the current head of this tea house, but he was sick, so you interviewed his wife. So your family name is Tsuen. She was like, yeah, I'm Yuka Tsuen. And I was like, what the heck? You are literally the descendant of this historic tea house. And I had no idea. I had zero idea. I met her at a Japanese restaurant in Vancouver. So insane. I just thought that was so crazy. I found that out after going to the tea house. All right. Yeah, give it a try. If you want to go to Kyoto and then go a little bit out of the way, Uji is probably a really cool place to visit. All right, now we're diving into our best cocktail bars in Kyoto video, featuring a good friend of mine, Gosha, who's very knowledgeable about cocktails, honestly. She was a long-time bartender, so she really knows what she's talking about, and she also lives in Kyoto, so she's the perfect guide for taking you around Kyoto. This was not a tour video, so she was just showing me around, and she introduced me to all of these really cool bars. And what's great is that she knows all of the people who work at these bars because she's in the bar scene. So it was a great experience for me. But let's see where we visited.
You know the saying, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, and I'm taking that saying literally today because it is noon right now, but I'm going to be showing you the beautiful city of Kyoto through its cocktail bars. Some of you may not know this, but Kyoto is becoming really well known for its incredible cocktail bars. And it has just some of the most unique and high-level cocktail bars around.
Cocktail.
Right, I really feel
that
like
was
a
really
doctor
cool
right now. I'm ready to give someone their shot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys 4 of those bars today.
Okay, one note. Some of these videos are a little bit challenging to film when we're just featuring bars because I do have to remember what I need to say despite having an increasing number of drinks in me as we go.
My first bar of the day is located in the B1 floor of the Kyoto Tower Sando building, just across from Kyoto Station, so it's very easy to get to. And this first bar is called The Roots of All Evil. Very cool name. It's a gin and cocktail bar, and they have over 100 different types of craft gin from all across Japan and around the world.
So this basement floor of this building was actually a really cool place to visit, and I recommend it a lot because I don't think it's touristy whatsoever. This is genuinely a place where I think Kyoto locals would probably pop by after work. You can grab a little drink at some of these little bars down there. And they also have tons of little izakayas, and they're all on the basement floor of this building. ジンの種類がいっぱい並んでありますね。このお店のコンセプトって何なんですか？
まあコンセプトとしては、
and this girl who works at this bar
今だんだん
was really cool too. She had a really cool
気
vibe.
軽にもっと自由に楽しむのに挑戦
And really friendly.
を探してもらえるようなお店をコンセプトにしてます。
Yes, it just had the most
it's
beautiful
definitely not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. But
drink.
It's immediately floral.
It looked like a little
walking
terrarium.
Into a beautiful botanical
Just
garden. If you
gorgeous.
like a nice, fresh, kind of herbal floral drink, this is the one for you.
Oh, we're gonna meet Gosha!
Hi, Shizuka. This is my friend
Love
Gosha,
Gosha.
you guys. She lives in Kyoto. So Gosha has a very strong bartending background.
That is
Can you
correct.
tell us a
I
little bit
see her
about
every time I
Yes,
go to
I'm
Kyoto
actually a
or whenever she
consultant
comes
for
to
the industry, for
Tokyo.
the bar and the restaurant industry, and it's called Goshu. So go
Goshu,
alcohol.
because her name
She's
is Gosha.
the head of her
and
own
Shu
company
is
called
alcohol.
Goshu.
Well, Gosha knows some of the best bars all across Tokyo and Kyoto, and she knows a lot of
Yes.
the bartenders. It's so fancy.
Do you like it?
Oh,
I love
Apotheca. This was a
green
really
on the
good
top
one
of
too.
the bar shelves.
Yep, and of course beautiful bottles, and you can see all the infusions.
Also, I love that all of the bartenders wear lab coats. Or maybe it's not a lab coat, but it's more of a pharmaceutical coat. So they're wearing their white jackets because the bar is called Apotheca, which is based on kind of a old school apothecary where they would used to use maybe alcohols and herbs to make a concoction that would help you when you were sick. So that's sort of the inspiration.
Now you gotta enhance your penicillin as
I'm
well.
gonna enhance my penicillin now. I cannot wait.
Oh, okay.
All right, I really
Now
feel
I'm
like a
enhancing
doctor
my
right now.
penicillin
I'm ready to
with
give someone their
The
shot.
syringe.
Maybe
Okay,
we can,
I know it looks like a real syringe, actually. That's a good point. There is this, it's not sharp though. So that's all I have to say. It does look like a real syringe. It's not, I do not believe that you could withdraw blood with this thing. It's,
put a white coat on me. Let's do it.
oh, yes! I love it. This is the first time that we did this Photoshop thing.
As bartenders, we always want to bring like a fun experience to the customer. The floating technique is very common, but for the bartender to give the option for
Bring
you
a
to
fun
make your own
experience
float. And
to
then you can also
cocktails.
enjoy it. And now you can also understand why the bartender puts something on top of your cocktail.
Anyway, thank you for the great recommendation.
Let's move on to the last bar that we went to. This one
What
was
is this
I would say, fancier affair.
Gosh, you can see all of Kyoto here.
Yes,
there you
and
go.
the view was
Amazing, right?
to die for. So beautiful.
The best, yeah.
Best seat in the house.
The biggest selling point of the K36 rooftop bar, the bar and rooftop, is the view. It's remarkable how much you can see of Kyoto.
Cheers.
Beautiful.
A beautiful view.
Really, I think some classic flavors
So
in
this
my
one
old
is actually
fashioned.
very refreshing. Again, it's based on rum, and it has rosemary, blue curacao, which is the blue
Rosemary
orange
and
liqueur,
Gosha's
a little
drink.
citrusy, and it also has elderflower liqueur.
Yeah, so the old fashioned, you can really highlight the liquor, the taste of the liquor in the drink, which is not always my go-to. I do prefer something a little bit sweeter, I think. But otherwise, if you like a good old fashioned, that's why it's called old fashioned. Okay, well that basically wraps up, I think, pretty much everything I've ever done in Kyoto on video. That was quite a lot. I'm surprised at how much has happened over the years. And it's all been really such a fun adventure. So I feel really grateful to be a part of all of this. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me kind of look back at some past Japan by Food videos. And I would love to hear which episodes were some of your favorites that I visited over the years in Kyoto that we touched on today. So if you wanted to go sometime in the future to Kyoto, make sure to check out the byfood.com website. We'll have a QR code on the screen and you can book some of these tours still. And let me know what you think about these kind of reaction videos. We've never done this before, but let me know if you enjoy this format and if you'd like to see me react to anything else. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you very soon in another one. Bye guys!
If you enjoyed this video, click the photos on the left for more and click the one on the right to learn more about byFood and book your own Japan adventures. Bye!